back to the Conference USA Showcase. Well, Ron, looking ahead at Week 10 on the football field, we start with Houston and East Carolina. Now, this is the game that you have to call. So, as you're doing your research, what are some of the things that you're seeing coming out of this game?
Number one, it's offense, because these teams are both very explosive offensively. Houston has scored 35 points in 5 straight games now. David Pilon, who was knocked out of the SMU game, he seems to be okay. The concussion is gone, and that is a big deal for them. But for me, Houston has got to play defense. That starts with DJ Hayden. Last week he had a pick 6. But when you look at who makes that defense cohesive, it has to be linebacker Phillip Stewart. He's all over the place. He'll line up at middle linebacker. He'll be a stand-up defensive end. That is a big key, I think, for Houston. Now, for East Carolina, Montavious Cooper, about 120 yards a game over the last couple of games. He has established the run game for this team. They've got to be able to run the football. But again, it comes down to who plays defense. For ECU, if they win, they qualify for a bowl. Huge for Ruffin McNeil.
Well, absolutely. Now let's jump outside of the conference. Now Tulsa, they face Arkansas. A good time for them to get kind of that SEC statement win. Now what do you see out of this one?
Well, first of all, I love the way Tulsa's playing. They're currently on a 7-game win streak. They've got their offense rolling. Obviously, Cody Green was injured, but he's going to be able to play. But when you look at Tulsa, what makes them go is their running game. You have Trey Watts, who's been injured. You have Jatarian Douglas, though. He's the man who really gets things going. He's able to hit the short burst. He can go the long run. And the question is, are they going to be intimidated by Arkansas? Now, these two states, obviously Oklahoma and Arkansas, are right next to each other, and these guys all know each other quite well. If this would be a win for Tulsa, that would be a major victory, I think, for Conference USA. And I think the way Arkansas has played this year, they are a beatable team. I look for Tulsa to win that ball game.
Well, absolutely. And you talked earlier about bowl eligibility. Another school, another game that we can talk about with that is the Rice and Tulane game. The winner, they do keep that bowl eligibility alive. Talk about the success of these two teams when their quarterbacks are healthy.
Well, I think for Rice, obviously, Taylor McCarg is healthy. They're a completely different team because he had so many different dimensions. But besides football, I think you have to talk about what Rice has done. I've been down there a bunch of times, and I think David Bailiff does a great job, but he has recruited character kids. The Rice team, they decided to raise money for Devin Walker, obviously hurt in that Tulsa game, the Tulane defensive back. They went out and raised money on their own. My hat is off to the players of Rice. Class move by that entire program.
Absolutely. We'll still ahead on the Conference USA Showcase, a full look at this past weekend's cross-country championships. But first, here's a look at the football schedule before we head to break.